part of the NBC Sports Group.
We are coming to you from USA Field in the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Adam Dunn, it's Kevin Youkilis, A.J. Pierzynski and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Billy Butler and the tough on us Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. As you know, in the opener, we took it 4-2 behind Chris Sale. Then last night, Cy Chen got us again. They won that game 5-2. So the Sox now come in at 60-49, 11 games over, just a half game in front of the Tigers. And tonight, Jose Quintana.
We're hoping that for Jose Quintana, the extra rest will be the same effect as Chris Sale. And Quintana threw the ball very well. He's 4-1. His ERA is .280. And 3 times he went 8 shutout innings only to get a no decision. He hasn't won a game in a month, but hasn't been because he's not throwing the ball well, because he is. He's got 4 no decisions in a row. Hopefully today this stuff comes back. His control has been terrific. It's been a very good year for him. Jeremy Guthrie goes to the mound for Kansas City, and he was acquired from the Colorado Rockies where he really struggled. Nothing's really changed. He's 0-3 for the Royals. Now, you might remember he was a #1 pick of the Cleveland Indians, later went to Baltimore, was their #1 pitcher. But he's fallen on hard times. He has trouble keeping the ball in the ballpark, and Paul Konerko is not going to be in the lineup. Alex Rios is not going to be in the lineup. So things shifted around a bit, but let's win the series again.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Will be baseball. Now for the Miller Time starting Royals lineup under Ned Yost. Alex Gordon leading it off. He's had a good series. Escobar, then Kane, then Butler, who's hit a couple of home runs with Perez, Moustakas, Francoeur, Hosmer, and Abreu playing second and hitting 9. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Quintana. Viciedo, Diaz, and Danks in the outfield with Euclid, Ramirez, Beckham, and Dunn in the infield. A.J. Pierzynski gets a nod behind the plate. And Jose Quintana on the hill looking for win number 5. It's been a month since his last win. And he's had 8 days of rest between starts. And we're hoping it does the same for him as it did for Chris Sale. So this is 13th start in his 15th game. The umpires for the game tonight. Ron Culpa behind the plate, the crew chief Jeff Nelson at first, Alan Porter at second, and Jim Wolf is at third. So they've thrown a ball around the infield. We're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox Baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of this series against this team who plays us as tough as anybody in the American League, the Kansas City Royals. It's amazing. It is amazing, and it's tied at 4-4. It doesn't seem like we've even been able to tie him. I know it. First pitch of the ball game is taken for a strike. Alex Gordon comes in at 293. No, the season series feels like they just beat us up. It's hard to understand because they just don't beat on anybody else. You know, I was talking with some of those Kansas City guys before the game today, and they said we don't play like this against anybody else. 21 to count to Gordon, who's 3 for 8 in the series. Well, they're 14 games in back of us, 46 and 63. That's out of play. Royals come in hitting at 267 as a club with a 4.45 ERA. They are 25 and 31 on the road and 21 and 32 at home. Took a little something off of that one. And the count 2-2. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. And that's a little shank into left field. Thanks. 1 out. Well, Hawk told you we've had some problems, and even though the series is tied 4-4, the batting average in Kansas City much better than ours. The runs much better. Home runs, we've out-homered them. That's not surprising. But look at the ERAs. 4.26 as opposed to 3.12 from them. And their pitching has been their big problem, but seemingly not against our ball club. There's Escobar. Now, Sadie's hitting an even 300, 4 homers, 38 knocked in. He did not play last night, but he was 1 for 4 in the opener. Takes first pitch strike. You consider him one of the better shortstops in the game? He's one of the better talented guys. And the Royals just love him. You know, Steve, they've had so many problems with that position for such a long time. They've seen it also at third base, but Moustakas looks like he's going to be there for a while. I believe that. Alcides certainly looks like he's going to be there for a while. Hosmer certainly looks like he's going to be at first for a while. And as we were talking that last night, I mean, if these guys ever get some pitching, watch out. Well, they were supposed to have it, but a lot of it got injured. Some of it regressed. But a good pitching staff will make this team a whole lot better. Count hangs at 1-2. Oakland came back. They jumped all over LaTroy Hawkins and beat the Halos 9-8 at the Coliseum. And we got them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark. As you makes his own hop. Nice play. Nice scoop. At first, 2 down. Kevin coming back from a sore knee. I talked to him before the game. He said it's not anything to talk about. He was feeling as good as you could expect. Nice pick by the big man at first, as Adam Dunn has shown us something that apparently he didn't show them in Washington. He can play a pretty respectable first base. He's made some terrific plays, and he has yet to make an error this season. So here's Lorenzo Cain at 284. Cain 0 for 4 in the opener. And he has faced Jose one time and he has one hit. Here's the strike.
Cain had a bad knee that started to curtail his year. Then in the rehab, he tore a hip flexor. Didn't have surgery, but it certainly put a crimp in his playing time this year. He's one of the guys that came over along with Escobar in the Greinke deal, and that's what you do. You trade top quality pitcher and build up the holes in your organization.
That ball hit hard. Jordan, we got a man there. 1-2-3 inning for Quintana after half inning of play. It's their guys nothing, and our guys coming to bat.
His troops tonight. Diaz leading off, and Beckham done. Euclid back in the lineup. AJ hitting fifth with Ramirez, Viciedo, Danks, and Hudson the DH. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Guthrie. Gordon, Cain, and Francoeur in the outfield. Moustakas, Escobar, Abreu, and Hosmer in the infield, with Perez behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jeremy Guthrie. 0-3 with the Royals in 3 starts, an ERA 7.71. He was 3-9 with the Colorado Rockies. His big problem, keeping the ball in the ballpark. Combined, he's given up 24 home runs this year, and he's done that in 106 innings, and that is a whopping total.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as Alejandro Diaz will lead it off, hitting at 289, 6 homers, 43 driven in. Sox come in hitting at 258 as a team with a 3.97 ERA. Alejandro has never faced him. And the count 2-0.
This creates a big problem with Guthrie, who was a former #1 draft pick of the Indians. Because when he falls behind, a lot of times he goes to a waist high or higher fastball.
And there's the strike.
Gordon playing well over toward the line and fairly shallow in left field. Cain playing him in left center field, and the big gap in right center.
3-1 to count. Yankees leading the Tigers 7-0. Bottom of the 4th in Detroit. Tigers took the first 2 games of that set. And that is bobbled. Got it off the heel. Did Escobar.
Let's hope he gets a base hit on that, because that ball was slicing. The bat shattered. Could very well be that it got the attention of both Guthrie and Escobar. But they're going to give him an error. In any event, he is aboard to lead it off.
And here's Beckham.
I didn't think that was an easy enough play to give him an error on.
No, that's a base hit.
We're going to leave it blank.
Yep. That's a base hit. Gordon hitting at 229, 11 homers, 40 knocked in, 2 for 6 in this series. And after the pitch, or before the pitch, there he was.
One a rolling curveball, the other a fastball. 2 homers.
2 homers.
Against Guthrie, he's got 2 homers.
Outfield shading him to the right. Nice gap out there in left center. And there's a flare. Get down. That guy can go get him. One of the better right fielders in all of baseball.
Rancourt tracking it all the way. Probably was going to be a foul ball, but he made the sliding grab. And then realizing that Diaz has got pretty good speed. Got it back in, but you're not going to run on Rancourt's arm from that position.
Here's Adam hitting at 206, 31 homers, 75 knocked in.
Did you think for a time when Guthrie was at Baltimore and their #1 starter that he had started to figure it out?
Yep. When he started to change speeds a little bit. I talked to him about it. We were at a golf tournament in Mississippi. And we're just talking as baseball players, you know, former and now current. And he asked me what I thought, and I said, Jeremy, I got to tell you, buddy, from a hitting standpoint, you're nice to hit at.
Straight over the top in 93.
That's it. I told him, just nice to hit at. You know, if you don't get the curveball, if you get 3 curveballs over, fine. You're not going to do that all the time. There's one. He gets over, and the count 1-2. But yeah, those guys straight over the top, unless they've got something off speed, they got nothing for you, really. He's too good an athlete to have the record that he has. Threw that one right by him. That one at 93. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our director and crew. They went with you. Steve's going with Jordan. Thanks. Good call there. And Terry Hanley, Mike Williams, Roger Clare, Eric, and all the guys out at Bolingbrook. We're going to go with AJ. And Hawthorne Woods. There's a strike. Uke had that sore bursa sack right underneath the knee. Hitting at 245, 13 homers, 41 driven in.
Last 5 games, he's hitting the ball out of the park. He's driving in runs, and 353 is pretty respectable. Not to mention, Uke was in a Sox uniform, hitting 260, but that doesn't tell the tale. 9 home runs, 27 driven in 35 games. Pencil that out over a full season, and the numbers are very impressive.
Grabs a strike with that one in the count. 1-2. Yeah, with Uke, with us. It's not so much what he hit, but when he hit it.
Hit some big home runs, some big doubles. That's a lot of runs driven in, 27 and 35 games.
AJ on deck, but Duke in a hole 1 and 2. It's even. Off day tomorrow, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Break them up. The A's coming to town. They have been hot. Oakland now 60 and 51.
This is what it looks like up to the moment. The Athletics, 5.5 games in back of the Rangers, 6 back in the loss column. And the Angels struggling with that bullpen, 7 games back. It's a good solid offense, but that bullpen has been shellacked recently.
And a full count. Uke will work a pitcher. He and Diaz probably see more pitches per at bat than any two guys on our club. Payoff. Sox trying to get to 12 over. And he pops him up. Got the ball in on him a little bit. And that'll retire the side. After 1, there is no score.
Later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And a reminder, Tuesday, August 21st. Well, it's a green game powered by Constellation. First 10,000 fans will receive a White Sox reusable bag presented by Constellation Energy. It'll be Butler, Perez, and Moustakas.
Well, Bob Rosenberg has decided to take the air away and give Diaz a base hit, which at the end of the day is a right call.
It certainly is.
Works out well for Diaz.
Butler hitting at 301, 22 homers, 69 driven in.
We found out one thing in this series. He can certainly hit a fastball when he's ahead of you.
He's a great grip hitter. 2-0-3-1.
Adam Jones throws a high fastball, and Butler loses it for him. Nate Jones, excuse me.
They got it eaten up right there. And that is 1 out. So that'll bring up Salvador Perez.
Jose made a pretty good pitch behind Butler. He got him on a ground out.
So Perez hitting at .319, 5 homers, 12 driven in. One of the best I've seen in recent years at doing that. When the count was 2-0-3-1, and this guy went right at their strength.
And that was
the boomer, David Wells.
He had such great control. I can't imagine he went to 2-0-3-1 all that often, because with that big motion, it's hard to believe he had the pinpoint control that he had most of his career.
Boy, he went right after him on that inside corner. And he pitched a game against us in Minnesota. I'll tell you, it was amazing. We had absolutely no chance with that control of his. Chops that one foul.
Hard to believe when you look at start by start for Quintana. 3 times he's thrown 8 innings scoreless, and all 3 times no decisions.
Good pitch. Didn't get it.
Nissan pitch tracks. It's close. Perez decided not to swing, which is surprising.
So the 22-year-old Perez against the 23-year-old Quintana.
The last 4 starts, that's skewed a bit, because he did get hit hard twice and threw 2 decent games.
Outfield for the most part straight up. Bit of a gap out there in right center. He gone.
It was a good battle by Perez, but at the end, that little cutting fastball. Well, Mark Burley starts just a touch outside. Hitter reaches out, cuts the middle of the plate, and he goes down on strikes.
Mike Moustakas hitting at .257, 16 homers, 51 driven in. It's 1-0 Kansas City.
I was just about to ask you what you thought of this guy's power, but I guess he just showed it to us.
He's going to be a good one. Real good one. Started off slow. Boy, how long did it take him to get his first hit against us? What did he go, 0 for 30?
Yeah, some even more than that. Home run replay by Ford, and the 1 pitch and it's gone quickly.
Here's Francoeur. I was looking at his stats when we were doing our lineups. There's no way that Moustakas is not going to be a 30 home run guy and a 100 RBI guy. He's going to be 30 every year and 100 once he settles in. He's just 23 years old.
And in that ballpark, which is not exactly conducive to power hitting, he's going to have enough power to take it out anywhere. There's a young third baseman who should be there for a great deal of time. Fewest home runs in the American League have been hit by these Kansas City Royals, but not against us. They've actually tied us in home runs.
That'll be a base hit. And that'll bring up Eric Hosmer.
Chopper to the left side. Lexi goes over, but the ball flattens out. Would have been a tough play anyway, especially with the speed of Frank Coeur. He runs pretty well, but he couldn't corral it.
Well, won the count to Hosmer. He's 1 for 7 in the series, having just a terrible year for him. 232, 10 homers, and 45 knocked in. Last year, he had 293, 19 homers, and drove in 78 in his rookie season.
Well, he got off to a slow start this year and then started to expand his strike zone, which is what a lot of young hitters will do. They get anxious. You can see left-handers, he hasn't fared very well. All the power has come against the right-handers. But he's got big power also. He just hasn't showed it very much.
Top of the second inning if you're just tuning in. A ball of 2 strikes, 2 out. Big home run by Moustakas. It is 1-0 Bad Guys. Watch out. He gone. That'll do it. After an inning and a half, 1-0. Visited the General Wood Boys and Girls Club in the little village neighborhood. There, they read an anti-bullying book and participated in a discussion with the nearly 60 children in attendance. Beckham and Ramirez also signed autographs and posed for pictures during their time at the club. The visit was the third of 4 community outreach events during this this year's White Sox Charities Week. To learn more about the week or how you can get involved with White Sox Charities, visit whitesox.com/community.
Very nice of Alexi and Gordon to get involved.
Especially on a game day.
Yes, sir. Not easy to do, to give up that time.
AJ fouls it back.
Pretty good numbers as we reach game number 110 this year.
Breaking ball into right field. Francoeur broke back. Didn't read it. That's the first time we've seen that happen with him in a long time, if ever.
When you're having one of those good years, and AJ is having one of those, good outfielders will take a bad route, get a bad start.
That is so true.
And the ball just finds a place to land.
When you're having a good year, that happens. Normal year, that ball, he just sucks it up.
Well, they're diving to the lines. Yeah. They're running into the gaps. They're pulling everything down that you hit.
Here's Alexei at 265. Takes low.
Things going pretty well lately for Alexi. He just has to stay out of the way of the baseball, because he's been getting hit around the wrists and forearms a lot.
Tops that one foul. Well, we mentioned LaToya Hawkins gave it up today. He allowed 5 runs in the 6th inning. That Angel bullpen in the last 10 ball games has got almost a 10 RBI. I mean a 10 ERA. And since the All-Star break, they're over 6.
Now it's been really amazing, because it's taken a ball club that should be right there and made it so they're not. I mean, Mike Scioscia probably, when he goes out there to make a decision and decide who to bring in lately, has a tendency to make you a little nauseous. When the bullpen doesn't get it done for you, you can hit as much as you want. At the end of the day, you lose to a team that doesn't hit very well in Oakland. Lose 9-8 in a game. Score 8 runs, you should win that.
The 1-2. Well, in your time zone, it was you're only going to go as far as the starters take you. My time zone the same. Today's time zone, you're going to go as far as your bullpen will take you. But your starters have to protect that bullpen.
Our guys have done a pretty nice job of that.
Better believe it. Right to the bag. Back him up.
Abreu decided to catch it bare hand. Really didn't have to, but did. He had plenty of time. And they turned the double play anyway. Alexi hits it exactly where Escobar is playing, right up the middle. And the bare hand throw. Again, not necessary, and you open yourself up to ball dropping out of your hand. But in this case, he got it done.
So here's Tank. Takes it right there at 95. Pretty big hack, no contact, except for the tip back.
Yeah, when you go down on the swing, you're pretty much letting it all go. That fastball was right down the middle. He had visions of it sailing out to the Dan Ryan, but he fouled it straight back.
Ate him up, and it's foul. So the count hangs at 1-2. Got a rolling curveball, pops it up. And that'll do it. We'll go to the third, trailing 1-0. And Escobar. Jose Quintana delivers down low. Abreu 3 for 7 since being called up. Abreu, 28 years old, switch hitter.
At one point, he was one of the stars of the Los Angeles Dodgers farm system, but then started to get hurt, went to the Diamondbacks, and now with the Royals.
That's off the end of the bat into left field. So with one out, time now for a quick update from our CSN studios. Here's Alex Gordon. He also went out the tank, leading off the ball game. Two and 0 the count. Now, Steve, here's the guy that we both felt, even though he had good numbers last year, he hit .303, 23 homers in that ballpark, 87. He's still, in our opinion, has not reached his potential. This guy's got big time power.
Well, he does that, and I think the switch for him really worked well because he was a third baseman. They drafted him as a third baseman. He was going to play there. Then, of course, Moustakas came along, and as Moustakas got better and better, they decided to move Gordon to the outfield. That change is difficult. He's made the change. Now he's settled down, and he does have big-time power. We haven't seen it this year, but it'll be there. He's still young enough where He can do just about everything.
Yes, he can. I know when Buddy Bell was managing that team, Buddy just loved him and said, great kid, great talent, going to be a star.
Well, he was part of what we both believe to be as good a defensive outfield and the best throwing outfield we've seen in a long time.
Watch out. Another nice pick by Adam. 1-2-3 inning. Nice for Quintana, but we trail it 1-0.
You think about that for a bit. We'll get back to you a little later in the game with the answer.
So it's the bottom of the third. And while we have a moment, big White Sox shout out and happy birthday to Sandy Kukla, Francie Edgeworth's daughter. Happy birthday, Sandy. And another one to Jay Derby, with love from your dad, John. Jordan Danks, Orlando Hudson, and Alejandro Diaza. Jordan takes first pitch strike. That ball into right center field. Vancouver making the call. 1 out. Yeah, that outfield they had last year with Gordon and Melky Cabrera and Francoeur, that's just about as good as it gets. Plus, they all had 40-plus doubles.
They could all hit, they could all run, and they certainly could all throw.
Here's Hudson. Hudson has faced Guthrie 5 times, has a couple of hits. So 2 quick out. And you can join the White Sox mobile group today by texting Ultimate to 244-769. Mobile users get exclusive offers, deals, and contest info. And joining, I should say, enters you into the drawing for our Ultimate Fan Package, where a lucky winner will receive 2 VIP game tickets, an autographed item, and Comiskey cash. Text Ultimate to 244-769.
Moustakas in on the grass at third base, taking away the thought of a bunt by Diaza.
Alejandro had an infield single. Big gap out there in right center. Gordon short and left. Takes the bunt, takes the ball. We have 0-2 on the scoreboard. So I guess he bunted at it. Meanwhile, Academic. He's 2 for 2. What new?
Well, last time in a similar situation, Robin chose not to run. Our Nissan pitch tracks will show you that this ball is low, very hittable, especially for left-hand hitters. And Diaza, 2 for 2. It's nice to see him back in the lineup. He missed a couple of games. Nasty collision at second base. Wound up hurting his back. But back in the lineup he is and doing what he's done all year.
Here's Gordon. Fouled out to Francoeur, who had to go a long way and made a nice sliding catch on it. Take strike one, says Ron Kulpa.
Gordon Beckham this season, when hitting in the first spot, you see 273, second spot 264, eighth spot 250, and unfortunately he's been hitting in the ninth spot a lot, and he's not hitting very well. 188.
Pulled off that pitch in the count 0-2. There he goes.
Joe McEwing going through his set of signs. Still a good time to run. Ned Yost, the manager, a former catcher, knows that occasionally an 0-2 pitch out's a good idea.
Ball gets away. So Alejandro in scoring position. Now make it hurt.
For Perez, just his third error of the year. They're going to go E2, but I think that ball was in the air. Watch it again. That's definitely E3. And I think Bob will change that once he takes a look at it. Throw is right there without hitting the dirt. You got to catch that one. Bob has changed it to E3.
Regardless of who, 2 or 3, make them pay.
Well, now he's in scoring position in a one-run game.
Big gap out there in left center. Phew. Breaking ball pops him up. And that'll retire the side. We catch a break. Can't capitalize. We're into the fourth, trailing 1-0. Kane, Butler, Perez, Moustakas. Here in the top of the fourth inning. 1-2-1 for them. 0-3-0 for us. Kane hit a hard line drive to right field. It was caught by Jordan Banks. If you're just tuning in, Rios is not in there tonight. Nor is Konerko. Paulie. Yeah, that's a fair ball. And that's out number one. But we have a very special couple in attendance tonight. Lifelong White Sox fans. There they are. That's Joe and Pearl Noraki. They're both 90 years old, and they are both celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary today. Wow.
Pretty amazing.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Joe and Pearl. Harris and I were talking next month. We'll be celebrating our 39th. We're only 31 short.
Yeah, you'll be just a small distance away from number 7.
Oh boy, 70 years. She's got to be a heck of a woman.
Well, that works real well if you have 2 different houses. But if you're living in the same place every day, wow.
21 to count. If you get a his and hers, it's great.
It's true.
Tigers have come up with 2 in the bottom of the 6th. It's now 7-3 Yankees. Sabathia on the bump. He gone. 2 down.
Quintana continues to throw the ball well. This is slider. AJ does a nice job of making sure it doesn't get by him because that ball scooted as soon as it hit the dirt. 3 strikeouts, and as usual for Quintana, no walks. This is a man that when 100 straight hitters without walking anybody, which is pretty remarkable for a rookie, or anybody for that matter.
Yeah, the White Sox franchise record is 101, held by our Mark Burley. To another count. The ball hit hard into right field. Thanks. Back, looks up. And it is 2-0. Number 6 for Salvador Perez.
He's got big power. Most of it is to the opposite field. And that one was a no-doubter. He's driven in 13 runs, our forward home run replay. He gets all of this.
Here's Moustakas. He's 1 for 1. And here's what he did on the first pitch he saw in the second inning.
First ball fastball. Way out of here.
$21 to count. How long had it been since Chin had won a ball game?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. He beat us last night. Guthrie having a tough year. He's leading 2-0 here, top of the fourth.
He's overall 3-12 between Colorado and here.
Good feed, and that'll do it. It's a solo home run by Salvador Perez. 3.5. We trail it by 2.
George Brett, July 25th, 1990 at Toronto. Since that cycle, there's been 78 recorded in the major leagues. But if you look at all the offensive heroics for this Kansas City Royal group throughout their history, George Brett is going to be prominent in probably just about every category.
It'll be Dunn, Youkilis, and Pierzynski. Adams struck out swinging on a fastball. Takes that breaking ball strike. 1-1 to count.
A minimum of pitches so far for Guthrie. Just an amazing run of poor pitching.
That's at 94. 2-2.
But none of that in evidence here tonight.
Foul tipped, hung on 2, 1 out.
First strikeout of the night. Our Menards pitch track shows you that it had the whole plate. Very hittable. Adam can only get a piece of it.
So here's Uke. After a battling at bat, Guthrie finally got him to puff up to Hosmer. Just foul.
Well, you'd have to believe that if Guthrie reverts to both his past and current form, we're going to see a few balls leave the ballpark from our hitters.
We certainly think so. Out and around that one. Moustakas high throw, but Hosmer comes down. And that's out number 2.
Helps to have a very big first baseman. Eric Hosmer is that. Very bad throw. Hosmer goes up, comes down on the bag, and I guess he tags him for good luck, because he was out when he came down.
AJ. He just muscled a soft single into right field. One that Francoeur didn't read, broke back, came on and couldn't quite get there. High pop up left side. Brayu now being called off by Alex. That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3. We're into the 5th. lower third of their order. Vancouver with an infield single. 2 runs, 3 hits. 1 error for them. Of the 3 hits, 1 of them stayed in the park. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for us. And that's foul.
And that one cracked the bat of Francoeur. Last night, a very funny shot. The foul ball went over into foul territory, grabbed some popcorn. Talked to him before the game about it. He said, yeah, Gordon hit one in almost the same spot. And he went over there again and asked the guy if he had anything to drink. So he has a good time apparently playing the game. And they had a good time with him in the stands over there.
Oh, and 2 the count. Lays off that one.
If you didn't see it last night, Gordon Beckham fouls one down the right field line. This ball in the seats, and while everybody's attention is diverted, well, Jeff Francoeur steals some popcorn. Not a bad idea.
A little too much time hooking up on that one. Oh, we just have all kinds of trouble with this ball club. Man. That's looped out into center field, and that's going to fall. So the infield single by Francoeur, and then a little duck snort into center.
For the game today, Francoeur and Hosmer were both doing a drill hog, and I'm wondering what it does for you. They were swinging one-handed, both with the right hand and the left hand, sequentially. And what does that do for a hitter?
Well, Paulie uses that drill a lot. And what it does is just get you to recognize your hands. The biggest thing that a hitter can do, as far as the mechanical element goes, is trust your hands. And that gets you using your hands. A lot of times one hand will overpower the other. Either the right hand will overpower the left, or most of the time it's the left hand that overpowers the right if you're a right-handed hitter.
Right-hand hitter, right.
So it just brings back into focus. But Paulie does that a lot in spring training. That's been a drill that a lot of guys have used over the years.
Well, both Francoeur and Hosmer really struggling this year, so trying to find it when there was no batting practice out on the field because of the rain before the game today.
Well, you know, Steve, you and I have talked about it, I don't know, hundreds, well, maybe not that much, maybe 100 times. It's something that hitters and pitchers are never going to stop. There he goes. And that is into short center field. Piazza comes on, makes it, and they got a shot for the double play. Yes. Rack him up.
It's a hit and run, and sometimes you just get trapped. It's our Home Depot doing more on defense. A little looper into center field. Alejandro comes on, and you see Frank Court trying to do whatever he can to get back. He cannot get back in time. Jeff Nelson on the call. Good solid throw without planting his feet, and they get him.
That's low to Abreu.
So you're talking about how hitters and pitchers can't get out of their minds?
Let's take 100% of the time. Most of the time, most of that 100%, guys, if they're having trouble, are going to work on 90% of it, mechanics. Yeah. When, in essence, 90% should be worked on approach.
Well, they know the mechanics. That's the problem.
Yeah, and they just keep grinding out on those mechanics. Meanwhile, we're halfway home. Maybe that'll give us a little shot in the arm right here. We trail it 2-0. Be Alexei, Viciado, and Dax. Solo home runs by Moustakas and Perez. For Moustakas, his 17th. For Salvador, his 6th. Alexei hit into a 6-4-3 double play his first trip. Gets jammed, ate him up. 1 pitch, 1 out. Sox fans, Saturday, August 25th, be sure to stay for a post-game fireworks display presented by all the great folks at St. Xavier University. St. Xavier University, success with purpose. Takes ball 1. In that Tiger Yankee game, Anibal Sanchez started, went 3 innings, gave up 7 runs earned, 7 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
So he's thrown 3 games for the Tigers. 1 has been pretty good and 2 have been very bad.
There's the strike. And then the count 1-2.
Guthrie's got a pretty good fastball tonight, and it doesn't appear to be all that straight. It's had some good movement, and it's been 94-95.
Pulled a string right there, but he got it up, gave him a chance, and he fouled it off.
High changeup's very hittable.
Yep. 2 down.
Second strikeout, no walks. Third strikeout, no walks. And this is a hard breaking slider. But a good pitch when you're ahead of the hitter.
So here's Danks, 0 for 1, went out to right field. That's low. That's hit hard right at Kane. So another 1-2-3 inning for Guthrie, and he leads it 2-0.
Years ago today, our Sox were wearing shorts. Pat Kelly, a couple of slides, and never has so much skin been left on an infield at any time in history as Ralph Garr runs one down, and the shorts went the way of the dodo bird the next year. They did away with them. Went to those beautiful clam diggers that we wore for a couple of years.
No, that's the Heine bird.
Boy.
Here we go, boys. Got to get somebody out here. Top of the order for them, Gordon, Escobar, and Kane. And once again, Quintana pitching well. 2 solo homers. And the count evens at 1. Gordon has gone out to left, and he is grounded to first. Bottom of the 7th, it is now Yankees 8, Tigers 4. One and two. Milwaukee beat Cincinnati 3-2. Well, Cincinnati's been playing great baseball without Joey Votto. One down. Texas beat Boston 10-9 at Fenway. Joe Nathan his 23rd save.
A lot of home runs thrown in that one. And Roy Oswald, after kind of airing out Texas for putting him in the bullpen, got bashed today out of the bullpen. I think it was 1/3 of an inning. 3 hits, 4 runs.
One and one to count. Escobar's grounded to third, and he is grounded to short. Cleveland beat Minnesota 6-2 at Progressive Field.
Broke that long losing streak. Tribe is back. After 11 in a row, they subdued the Twins. .73 degrees at the ballpark. The wind's starting to pick up considerably.
Well, I'm glad we have an off day tomorrow. And respect it. Two things. First of all, guys get a well-deserved rest. And next, it's supposed to rain all day.
Hopefully there'll be a window. They have a little window.
I'd like to have one for about
10:20.
4 hours.
From around 10:20
yeah.
to a little bit later.
10:20 to 2:20.
That'd be good. And also, Paulie and Alex will have a chance to get a little healthier and maybe get back in the ball game on Friday.
There's a base hit in the center field.
Alex took a very hard swing here, and you can tell, you see him wince there. Now, he'd been playing with this. It was bothering him, but that particular swing was the first of the at bat, and it really got to him. So we said it's a little above, well, the belt line and toward the middle of his back, so that's why he's out today. They don't expect anything serious. And we can ill afford to lose him for any length of time, as good as he's been in every aspect of the game.
He's been an all-star. There's no question about that. He has played like the 5-tool player that he is.
Quintana has a very good move to first base. And he's going to need it because Escobar is 20 out of 23 in stolen base attempts.
High and wide. Came with that line drive, hard line drive to right field, and he also bounced softly to third. And here come the Tigers. It's now 8-5.
They knocked Sabathia out of the game.
Yankees were leading 7-0. There's the strike. Good breaking ball.
Buries that slider low and in. AJ does a good job of getting down, making sure that ball doesn't get by him, and keeping Escobar at first base.
Good try, wouldn't bite. 2-2. He gone. Nice. Pull the string on him.
Good straight change. Menard's pitch tracks will show you that it's in a pretty good spot. Sinking low and away, tantalizing enough, but out of the strike zone. And he had Kane well out in front of it.
Fourth strikeout. And that'll bring up Billy Butler, who has grounded to second softly, and then he struck out. Nice, AJ. There was that straight change, missed. 2-0. Another nice one. But the count goes to 3-0.
And you can bet that Butler's going to be swinging. Even though Perez hit a home run last time up in the fourth inning and he's in the on deck circle. If Billy Butler likes what he sees, I'm sure Ned Yost is going to turn him loose.
Well, if he doesn't, something's wrong. Didn't get a chance. So 2 out, 2 on.
And the first walk of the game issued by Quintana, sending AJ out to talk with him.
And a reminder, come see our Sox take on the Oakland A's Saturday at 6:10 p.m. First 20,000 fans get a camouflage cap, and it's a nice one, presented by Outdoor Channel and Xfinity. Purchase tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Perez has struck out and homered into the Kansas City bullpen.
AJ's blocked 3 pitches just this inning. that could have yielded a run.
Two and 0 the count. And there's the strike. That's into right field. And he pitches out of it. That'll be Tyler Side. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth. It is still a 2-0 Royal lead.
First by Moustakas, first pitch, fastball gone. And Salvador Perez reaches out, also taking it to right field. That's the difference in this game, as Quintana has thrown well, just given up the 2 bombs, and Guthrie hasn't given up anything. That is his first game, hopefully the first of many. And with 3 runs, he'll see a winner.
So here's Hudson. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out 3-1. Takes first pitch strike from Jeremy Guthrie, former #1 pick of the Cleveland Indians. He got a cookie and pops it up.
Well, it looked like Gordon had some problems with that one. We told you the wind had really picked up, and he thought he had it easily and started to drift on it. That's a comparison between the starters. Guthrie just 3 hits given up. The only walk of the game issued by Quintana. Both starting pitchers have thrown very well.
First pitch strike. Alejandro. He's 2 for 2 in this game. He had an infield single and then a line shot into right field. 2 balls and a strike.
Last 17 games, De Aza has been brilliant at the top. Not only 377, but combined 20 runs scored, 20 driven in.
That's tough foul. So the count hangs at 2-2 with 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-5-1 for the Royals, 0-3-0 for our Sox, and this is the rubber match of this 3-game set. Yes, he did. And right now, let's go back to our studios for a quick update. All right, our Chuck. Tigers been doing some comebacking lately.
That's what it looks like to this point. The difference, 1 thin half game.
And here's Gordon. He's 0 for 2. He's popped up to right and gone out to center. And there's a shot fair right down into the corner. So Gordon will pick up his 19th two-bagger. Yes. That breaks a streak of 8 straight retired by Guthrie.
Gordon gets on top of a high fastball. That went on the inner portion as Guthrie, throwing 94-95 tonight, thought he could get it by him inside. Gordon had other ideas, and he's in scoring position with 2 outs.
Here's Adam 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. Fouls that one back. Oh, 0-2 the count with Youkilis on deck. Konerko not in the lineup tonight if you're just tuning in. Nor is Alex Rios. That's outside. Previous 2 games we didn't have De Aza. Last night we didn't have De Aza or Uke. Tonight, no Konerko or Rios.
We get 2 back, lose another 2.
Two and 2. Got him breaking ball. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 7th, trailing by 2. Boyle, Pat Boyle Podcast. Tune in as Pat sits down with Lance Briggs, Tom Thayer, and White Sox skipper Robin Ventura. Watch the Pat Boyle Podcast presented by Mazda. Tomorrow at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet, Fans' Best Friend. That's into right field. Jordan got the good jump. So one pitch, one out. Moustakas is retired. He's now 1 for 3 with a homer. That coming in the second inning.
Fortunately, he cut that one off the end of the bat because he had the same kind of swing that he had in the second. Just didn't go as far.
Francoeur 2 for 2, an infield single and a little duck snort in the center. It's 5 for 10 in this series with a homer. Three and one to count. It's full.
Very difficult to walk Francoeur, as he would prefer to swing at just about anything rather than take the intentional walk. He got one.
And that'll bring up Hosmer. Hosmer struck out, and then he flied out into an 8-3 double play. Francoeur was off with the pitch. Hit the ball in center field, and De Aza threw him out to Adam Dunn. Another nice block by A.J. Francoeur, 2 for 7 in stolen bases. He's better than that. Francoeur stole 22 bases last year. There's a strike. Yankees scored one, now lead 9-7. Tell you what, that was not a bad throw at all by Adam to make sure he did not hit Francoeur. Just trusted that Alexei would make the play. They get the lead man 2 down.
Good play by Dunn, who, being a former quarterback, has a strong arm, doesn't have much of an angle, has to throw it high and wide, and that was by design.
Yes.
He did that because that was a space he could get it in. And so a good play on both ends.
And here's Abreu. He's gone out to left and he's grounded to short.
activity in our bullpen. It is Jesse Crain. Funny, every pitcher has a different way of getting loose and getting loose in a hurry. With Jesse Crain, it's starting about 3 feet behind the mound and running up on the mound and throwing it as hard as he can.
2-0 the count.
You don't see a whole lot of relievers doing that, but Jesse has done it throughout his career, and for him it's worked pretty well.
What's the most unusual guy in the pen you've ever seen?
Warming up?
Yeah.
Well, you know, they used to keep those leaded balls out there, baseballs, and
right.
Used to swing your arm around and get loose that way. There were some guys who could get ready in 6 pitches, 7 pitches, so they didn't have any sense of urgency.
There's a one-hopper down to Uke. Over for the force, and that'll do it. 7th inning stretch, but we trail it 2-0. White Sox Wives basket auction during our broadcast. The auction features 8 premium baskets assembled by the White Sox Wives, and viewers have the opportunity to bid on the baskets online throughout the game. These special baskets feature several White Sox players' favorite everyday items, including favorite video games, clothes, food, wine, apparel from other sports teams, so as well as an autographed item. The auction begins at 11 a.m. on Sunday, and fans can place bids at whitesox.com/baskets. Yankees now leading 10-7. So why don't we do our part and put some points on the board? Youkilis, AJ, and Alexei. Takes ball 1. Uke has popped to first and grounded to third. There's a strike. And that's popped straight up. Guthrie now waved off by Moustakas. 1 out. Sox fans, join us on Friday at 7:10 as our Sox take on the Oakland A's for Country Music Night and fireworks presented by Pepsi. Don't miss the pregame acoustic set by Nashville recording artist Greg Bates. That's Friday Sox A's 7-10. Here's AJ. AJ is 1 for 2. The play.
Kane is shading AJ around toward left center field. And during this red hot streak he's had, he's pulling the ball a lot. There's a huge gap in right center, and Frank Kerr is well off the line in right. There you look at the defense and how they're playing AJ, which would lead you to believe that Guthrie is going to try to stay away.
And that has popped up, trying to come back, and it will.
But what a play by Moustakas, and looked like he might have turned his ankle on the play.
That was a heck of a catch right there. Wow.
You're going down by that tarp, an over the shoulder catch, and he's coming away limping a bit. I told you about the wind. The wind blew that ball back into play. Big effort. Normally that ball is in the seats. There you see the flags. When we started, they were dead still. Not now.
Alexei takes ball 1. He has it into a double play, 6-4-3, and he's popped it short. One and one to count. One and two the count. Moustakas, another beautiful play. My goodness. Wow. 1-2-3 inning. We're into the 8th. It is still 2-0 Royals. Top of the order here in the top of the 8th for the Royals. Gordon, Escobar, and Kane to face our 23-year-old southpaw Jose Quintana. Giving up 2 runs, 2 solo homers on 5 hits.
Could very well be this is the last man he's going to face, because you've got 4 right-handers in a row and Jesse Crane ready to go in the pen. And Quintana's been very good tonight. He's right now at 104 pitches, however.
We saw some excellent results from the extra days for Chris Sale, and we're seeing the same thing tonight.
Yep. Just catch a breather. They're both young pitchers, both in their first year of major league action. You need a little more rest sometimes.
Ball gets away. AJ. Nope.
He drops pretty good slider on him. Goes as a wild pitch. It's one of the few AJ could not block this evening. And that is indeed going to be it for Quintana, who is absolutely excellent, but he'll leave on the losing side of the ledger.
If this kid didn't have any bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all as he departs.
And here comes Jesse Crane. So we'll step out and be back after these messages. Jesse Crane. Crane at 2-1, ERA 2.25, on for the 31st time. He inherits Gordon at first base, nobody out, and he's trailing 2-0. So the first thing that a pitcher is going to ask, and he asked it of his second baseman and shortstop, is who am I coming to if the ball is hit back to me? It would appear the way the defense is right now, it's going to be Alexi.
Here's Escobar. He's 1 for 3. Poked a little soft single in the center field. Gordon, just a regular lead. First pitch strike. That was 92.
When Quintana's at his best, unfortunately, our offense doesn't seem to want to produce much.
That's foul back. Jesse, one of the quickest moves for a right-hander in all of baseball.
He's got great feet, and that's really the key. And you do have to make sure that you step toward first, because there's some umpires that are just looking for that throw over the shoulder and then the foot turn, and they'll call a balk. And Jesse's right, that good overhand hook does away with most right-handers.
There you go, good fake. Big gap out there in left center. He's just turning in. Home run in the second by Moustakas. Home run in the fourth by Perez. And against Guthrie, we've only stranded 3 guys. We've only had 1 man to second base. He has dominated our offense tonight. Primarily with a fastball, as Steve talked about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he's been just terrific, and there's been some movement on the fastball where most of the times when we saw him, there wasn't a whole lot. And they do have a very good hard-throwing bullpen.
He gone. 1 out.
Jesse just reaches back, throws that fastball right by him. Quintana mystified Kane. Let's see if Crane can do the same thing.
Breaking ball strike. Pitch out and nothing on. Kane 0 for 3, that line drive to right, a grounder to third, and a strikeout.
You just don't find that many managers going to run on an 0-1 count. It's just too easy to call a pitch out. Now, if they want to run on this count, well, very rarely do you see back-to-back pitch outs.
There he goes. Just his 7th stolen base.
He looks back, see if there's any contact. There's not, and there's also no throw.
Ate him up. 2 down. And it'll bring up their best hitter, Billy Butler, who is 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. And he is 4 for 15 lifetime against Jesse.
Well, you get a choice here. You face the man with 69 runs batted in, or the man with 13. That's a man in the on-deck circle, Salvador Perez. But whatever you do, you got to be careful with Butler because he is the premier run producer on this team.
Checks it up and takes strike one. Butler off that plate. Has tremendous plate coverage. And they're just coming right at him inside, which is what you got to do in this situation, or in a situation where you can hurt you anytime.
Yeah, go inside off the plate even further than they've gone in. But you see with our BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks, both of these pitches have been right in on his hands. One up, one down.
He is absolutely devastating out for the middle out. He gone. Hook. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. We still trail it 2-0. Camp in Bourbonnais. Bears training camp reports every night on Sportsnet Central, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Lower third of our order here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and we got to get something going. We trail it 2-0. It'll be Viciedo, Danks, and Hudson to face Jeremy Guthrie.
Well, Guthrie does not have a complete game this year, and you would expect at 90 pitches he's not going to complete this one. But we talked about the very talented Kansas City bullpen. Nobody has been up and throwing at any point during the game.
No, he has not been in trouble. In fact, this has been one of the most dominating performances we have seen against our club all year long.
Well, he's been able to move the fastball in and out at will, and he's not missing too much with anything tonight.
Just aces him right there on the outside corner. So the count 0-2.
You don't see Viciedo miss outside fastballs very much. And Guthrie, who went inside to set up the entire at bat with the first pitch, threw 2 away. The third one being well off the plate and got him.
So here's Jordan. Jordan has gone out to right, and then he lined hard to center. And he pops this one up. Kane, 2 down. And Sox fans, every White Sox Friday home game is United Flyaway Friday. Each Friday home game, one lucky fan will have the chance to win 2 free round-trip tickets to anywhere in the continental United States that United Airlines flies. United, proud to fly our White Sox. Proud to be with them. Mark Seipold, Mike Corrigan, Bobby Garcia, Tanya, Jackie, Carolina, and all the good folks also at Atlantic Aviation. Nick and the gang. Hudson has bounced out 3-1 and gone out to left on the pop-up. Here's what Steve's talking about, working both sides of that plate with that fastball and good movement.
He's getting a pretty good game called by Ron Culpa. In fact, he called a good game for both sides of the equation.
Yeah. I wish we could blame it on him, but we can't.
Nope. And both pitchers threw well. Our offense, not much in evidence tonight. Shows you really how much you miss Konerko and Rios. And it's a big difference.
Yeah, this is a good umpiring crew, one of the better ones. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
And right at the 100 pitch mark for Jeremy Guthrie.
Back through the middle.
Be very surprised if Ned Yost does not get that bullpen up and going. I was kind of surprised he hadn't had it going this inning.
Just our 5th hit.
And Diaz has 2 of them, and he's coming up. So fastball that Guthrie throws up on the outer portion. And our number 9 hitting DH takes it back through the middle. He's 1 for 3. And there's the bullpen up and going.
That is out of play, left side.
Right and left-hander loosening in the pen. Outfield around toward left center. 0-1 count on Diaz, 2 out, 1 on. Trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the 8th. A fastball misses up high, and the count evens at 1. Aaron Crow, the right-hander. Collins, who we've seen in this series, the left-hander. Both have pretty good stuff. Takes a little something off. And the count moves to 1-2. Time now for the AT&T Uverse Multiview. Gives you a shot from center field, looking right at Diaz, right in back of Harold. And the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it right off his foot, something that Alejandro doesn't really need at this point, just coming back from a stiff back. So with Gordon Beckham in the on-deck circle, you would think if Guthrie does not get Diaz, that would be it for him. This is most likely his longest appearance of the year. 2-5-1 for the Royals. 0-5-0 for us. Lifted lazily to left field. And Gordon draws a beat on this one. He has it. And so we go to the ninth. Score 2-0 Royals. .org/White Sox to make a donation. Fans can donate at the Sox game on Saturday, August 25th, and receive a White Sox reusable grocery bag presented by Dominick's.
0-1 the count. Perez, 1 for 3, a homer. That coming in the 4th inning. Just off the corner. Royals, a homer in the 2nd, a homer in the 4th. And we haven't even come close. Only one man at second base in this ball game.
Now that's how dominant Jeremy Guthrie has been. This is what the Indians saw in him when they drafted him in the 1st round, but didn't come to fruition with them. They let him go. Looked at times at Baltimore like he was going to be this kind of guy. As we've got Addison Reed and Matt Thornton throwing in the pen, Brett Myers in the game.
That's foul.
So we'd had Quintana for 7+. He gave up the 2 runs on 5 hits. He walked a couple, fanned 5. Jesse Crane came on, did a great job, pitched an inning, struck out 2. That was that. And now Brett Myers in the game to try to hold him right there and give our offense a chance. Just 2 runs down as we head into the bottom of the 9th.
A rocket. Mercy. This young man, I'll tell you, that Salvador Perez has got a chance. He's the best looking young catcher we have seen in many moons.
When he came up last year, he looked like he was absolutely destined for stardom. And then he got hurt. Tore up his knee, had surgery. You don't know how you're going to come back, but he's come back, and nothing wrong with anything that he does.
Yes, sir. He's got a chance to be a thoroughbred as that is deep into left field, but Tank is there right on the edge of the track and quickly 2 gone. For our guys, it'll be Beckham, Dunn, Euclid, and AJ in the bottom of the 9th.
Holland loosening in the pen. We saw him last night at a 1-2-3 ninth and picked up just his second save of the year.
There's a strike. That's into center field. Piazza. Canacor. Good job on Myers. We go to the bottom of the ninth. We need 2 to tie.
By Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moments, and it comes from Jeremy Guthrie, who threw 8 was absolutely brilliant. He had the fastball up, he had the slider down, he had the fastball away, and he kept it there. So a brilliant performance by Guthrie, who went 8 strong, didn't give up any runs, gave up just 5 hits. More importantly for him, didn't walk anybody as Greg Holland comes into the game. ERA 3.22, 59 strikeouts in 44 2/3 innings. We saw him last night. Pitched a perfect ninth. The key for him is control, because he can get to the point where the plate kind of moves around on him. And we'd be looking for at least a walk here to go with a barrage of base hits.
Well, that performance by Guthrie and that one by Lance Lynn in St. Louis against us, probably the 2 most dominating we've had all year against us.
No doubt.
So here's Gordon, 1 for 3, a double. Takes ball 1. One to count.
Holland got to the big leagues 3 years ago. He has a total of 6 major league saves.
Gordon 1 for 4. Lifetime against Holland.
Perez was jumping around behind the plate, wanting to get that call on the appeal, but It was not forthcoming from Jeff Nelson. Holland buries that breaking ball in the dirt.
That's got a piece of it.
If you're not used to closing, it is pretty difficult to do. Count of 2-2, nobody out. Gordon Beckham going to improve on that 1 for 3. That hit a ringing double into the left field corner. Got him on a curveball. And there's one down. Holland with an overhand hook. That one really didn't do very much, and yet it was good enough. It wasn't location. It was change in velocity. And that got it. Adam Dunn with 3 strikeouts. Looking out at Holland. We need a base runner. And that fastball, a little out of the zone, so Holland catches a break. Outfield very deep. And they're playing Adam almost straight up. A shift in the infield. That one fouled off to the left. And done in an 0-2 hole. Adam Dunn 0 for 3 lifetime against Holland. And the 0-2 pitch. Line drive. Nobody's going to get this one. Off the wall. Dunn is going to coast into second base. And a ringing double will bring the tying run to the plate in Kevin Youkilis. So the big man just crushes it into the gap. Got a hold of a fastball. 99 miles an hour. Hit the bottom of the wall. And there's some life left. Youkilis 0 for 3. Hasn't had the ball out of the infield tonight. Coming back from that sore knee. A.J. Pierzynski in the on-deck circle. That fastball misses low and in. And the count 1-0. So when you're not asked to close very often, you find out in a hurry that it's not a very easy task. Nobody in the pen, so it's Holland against the world as far as Ned Yost is concerned. Count evens at 1-1. Kevin Youkilis has seen Holland once. He's 0 for 1. The runners in scoring position. Kevin lately has been struggling, but the outfield playing very deep in a no double set. Plenty of room for a base hit in front of him. Good overhand breaking ball, and the count goes to 1-2. The outfield shades Euclid around toward right center. Big gap in left center. That one was a break. Good overhand curve. Vimo Harris pitch tracks shows you that came over the plate a strike, but a lot of umpires will not call it if the catcher catches it near the ground, and that's exactly what Perez did. So the count evens at 2-2. 1 out here in the 9th inning. Got him on a curveball. And we're down to our last out with A.J. Pierzynski. Good overhand hook. Euclid out in front of it. A.J. 1 for 3. Outfield shading A.J. toward left center field. The big gap in right center. Not paying much attention to Adam out at second base. To them, his run means nothing. A.J. has faced Holland 3 times. He's 0 for 3. Hosmer right on the line and deep at first. As that fastball misses down. We pan around, show you the defense. It's a no double set in the outfield. And there's no way AJ can get the ball between Hosmer and the line. Right back up the middle. Base hit. Dunn is going to score the first run of the ball game. AJ is going to drive in run number 63. And we've got the tying run on. This Holland fastball taken right back up the middle. AJ realizing on a ball away he couldn't do too much with it. So exactly where it was pitched is exactly where he hit it. Brings up Alexei Ramirez, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Hasn't had the ball out of the infield. Ray Olmedo comes on to pinch run. Olmedo with very good speed. Started the game last night, was 1 for 3. Outfield again very deep. And shading Ramirez to right center. And that ball rifled down the line, but well fouled. Two to 1 game. And 25,151 fans making a lot of noise here at the ballpark. Little too much time. Lexi called for timeout. Ron Culpa gave it to him. Moustakas back a couple of steps and toward the line at third. And a good lead at first by Olmedo. Lexi out ahead of that one. And he's in an 0-2 hole. Lexi 1 for 6 lifetime against Holland. Olmedo with a pretty good lead with every intention of scoring if Alexi can find a gap. Line drive, but it's right at Escobar, and that's the game. The Royals take the game and the series 2-1. And we fail to extend our lead. Our GMC player of the game is Jeremy Guthrie. And why not? 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, fan 6, by far his best game of the season. His first win as a Royal and first win since May 31st. What a job he did. So for my partner Ken Harrelson, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, and for the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., I'm Steve Stone saying so long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the